Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a written message from His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas of Palestine, received by His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Said. The Sultanate and the United Arab Emirates review brotherly relations and military cooperation between both countries. The Technical Committee for Urban Planning reviews unified vision to develop planning schemes with necessary services. And the Science and Technology Center is inaugurated in the Governorate of Dakhiliya to encourage the innovation environment. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a written message from His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas of the State of Palestine, Chairman of the Executive Committee of the Palestine Liberation Organization (PLO), dealing with bilateral relations between the two brotherly countries and issues of common concern. The message was received on behalf of His Majesty the Sultan by His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Said when he received his office today. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Majdani, member of the PLO Executive Committee, envoy of the Palestinian President, who conveyed the greetings of His Excellency the President to His Majesty the Sultan, the government and the Omani people. They exchanged cordial talks and reviewed relations of existing cooperation between the two sides in various domains, as well as means of promoting them to serve joint interests of the Omani and Palestinian peoples. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Abbas Ramadan, Ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Sultanate. Topics that concern the sustainable and the United Arab Emirates were the center of discussions during the meeting of His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, with Lieutenant General Hamad Mohammed Rumaithi, Chief of Staff of UAE Armed Forces, who is currently on a visit to the Sultanate. They reviewed the march of good bilateral relations binding the Sultanate and the UAE in a way that achieved the joint interests. They also discussed a number of issues of common concern. Aspects of military cooperation existing between the Sultanate and the United Arab Emirates were reviewed by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harib Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, when he received His Excellency Lieutenant General Hamad Mohammed Al Rumaithi, Chief of Staff of Armed Forces of UAE. They discussed enhancing cooperation between the two countries and exchanged views on issues of common concern. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith Al Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces (SAF), received in his office at Muaskar Al Murtafa today Lieutenant General Hamad Mohammed Al Rumaithi, Chief of Staff of the UAE Armed Forces, and his delegation currently visiting the Sultanate. The two sides held an official session talks, during which Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith Al Nabhani welcomed the guest and wished him a successful visit to the Sultanate. They reviewed the good relations and the existing military cooperation between the two friendly countries, affirming the keenness of both sides to promote such cooperation to serve interests of both countries. The Technical Committee concerned with the interim mechanism of urban planning reviewed a unified vision to develop land schemes and provide them with necessary services. The committee introduced more than 45,000 land plots for various uses during the current year in various governorates of the Sultanate to be distributed to eligible citizens in the upcoming period. The committee comprises representatives from various government bodies concerned with services. The meeting discussed 37 topics that related to changing the use of lands in the governorates of South and North Sharqiya and Wusta, in addition to some economic and investment projects. The meeting coincides with the revealing of a new real estate project in Madinat Sultan Qaboos in the Governorate of Muscat at a total of a cost of 7 million Omani Riyals. It includes 87 residence flats and commercial shops. The Science and Technology Center was opened this morning in the Wilayat of Nizwa in the Government of Dakhliya under the auspices of His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Ali bin Abdullah Al Alawi, Head of the Communications Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Hamid Al-Rubai.
The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the support of a number of establishments and organizations operating in the oil and energy field, have worked jointly to establish Science and Technology Center located in a Dakhliya Governorate, Wilayat of Nizwa. In a ceremony held this morning, His Excellency the Chief Guest pulled the screen from the center to mark the launching of its activities. Interactive show was presented which narrated the stages of project's establishment. 5 halls inside the center were opened in which the guest and the gathering toured around to learn more about its activities. His Excellency the Ambassador was delighted to honor supporters as well as participating schools and students involved.
The Scientific and Technology Center in the training center here comes according to the vision of the Ministry of Education, which tries to support good environment for young learners and a good environment to learn and to interact with the technology. It consists of 3 different labs: the Little Innovator Lab, and Interactive Learning Lab, and the Robot Lab.
The goal behind establishing a Science and Technology Center is to help the society to understand the science and scientific culture, observing it and motivating them to participate by offering interactive activities, allowing for different categories of the community the opportunity to enjoy and participating and discovering scientific facts themselves. In the first phase of 5 halls, the center includes the robot laboratory supported by Oman LNG, including Z-Space, with a 3-dimensional virtual platform enables users to interact directly, which is characterized by a high level of precision to build on interactive environment containing holographic. Laboratory sciences and technology represent the most important topic that coincide with our daily lives, where these help to explore the facts and theories and scientific knowledge in the field of physics, biology, chemistry, and seek about achieving the belief that corresponds to the reality of the firm and for the image thing in the mind, including nanotechnology, where use of nanotechnology in the light and heavy industries. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television.
Still to come, a news bulletin. Royal Oman Police opens an educational center in the Wilayah of Samail in the Governorate of Dakhliya. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The percentage of voting in the Municipal Council's election reached 40%. That was revealed in a press conference by His Excellency Engineer Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Interior and Chairman of the Main Committee of the second-term Municipal Council elections. He also added that the percentage of the male voters reached 63%, while the female voters reached 37%. Also, His Excellency Nasser bin Sulaiman Al-Sibani, head of the Media Committee of the elections, stressed that the election process received a legal monitoring and availability of members from the National Committee for Human Rights at various working centers in order to follow up the implementation of law related to elections. The Gulf Cooperation Council Statistical Center GCC START held at its headquarters in Muscat its first meeting for the GCC establishment. The meeting discussed the statistical outputs and the statistical work program. The meeting will also review the plans and programs of the GCC START, as well as its role in providing statistical data and indicators at the GCC level. It also discussed fields for developing work and enhancing joint cooperation between the GCC START and organizations of the GCC Secretariat General. The meeting was attended by representatives from the GCC Secretariat General, the Federation of the GCC members, the Arab Bureau for Education for the Gulf States, the Executive Office of the GCC Labour Ministers Council, the GCC Ministers for Social Affairs Council, Gulf Organization for Industrial Consultancy, the GCC Monetary Council, and the Consultative Board of the GCC Supreme Council. Developing investment aspects in the handicraft sector and the means of improving services provided for craftsmen, in addition to improving the number of decisions aimed to refine crafts performance and work to ensure the continuous of projects and development programs of handicrafts sector in the Sultanate, top discussions of the third meeting of the Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Crafts Industry. The meeting also reviewed the status of a number of lands affiliated to the authority and invitation of tenders for investment and partnership with domestic and private sectors in various wilayas in the Sultanate, in addition to discuss integration of a number of sponsored initiatives of the handicraft sector. The meeting was chaired by Her Excellency Sheikh Aisha bint Khalfan Asiyabir, Chairperson of the Public Authority for Crafts Industry. More than 350 million Omani Riyals is the total of investment of national insurance companies up to the end of the third quarter of 2016. The investments of the companies focused inside the Sultanate to form 93% compared to 7% in foreign investments as bank deposits, shareholdings and bonds, in addition to investment funds. Investments in bank deposits took the higher percentage by insurance companies in the sector, which amounted to around 244 million Omani Riyals. With the aim of educating the inmates and provide them with knowledge in all fields, Royal Oman Police, ROP, opened an education center in the Wilaya of Samail in the Governorate of Dakhiliya. The Directorate General of the Prisons at the ROP, in coordination with the Minister of Education, will supervise the teaching process of the inmates in various educational levels. The opening of this center stems from the belief of ROP that education is the key to change the wrong attitudes of the inmates. In addition to their way of thinking, the center aims at rehabilitating the inmates and enable them to get job opportunities after they are released from jail. 3 libraries are available with many books for the inmates to enhance their educational levels. As part of the efforts being exerted by the Ministry of Health to spread health culture and promote physical activities and practicing various types of sports to combat now communicable disease, the Ministry launched, in cooperation with other concerned bodies, a campaign under the theme Health Begins with a Step. The early death cases amounted to 2.3 million caused by diabetes, high blood pressure, increase in cholesterol rate and heart diseases. The campaign targets various segments of the society through various activities and events. It will last till the end of 2017. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates, with chances of low clouds and fog early morning and late at night along the Dhofar and Wusta. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate and seas will be slight to the maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a written message from His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas of Palestine, received by His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said. The Sultanate and the United Arab Emirates review brotherly relations and military cooperation between both countries. The Technical Committee for Urban Planning reviews unified vision to develop planning schemes with necessary services. And the Science and Technology Center is inaugurated in the Government of Dakhliya to encourage the innovation environment. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for watching. Good night.